Hello everyone, I'm Carthu, and today we'll be discussing what would have happened had Vegeta turned Super Saiyan 2 against Super Perfect Cell. While this video will still have narrative involved in it, we will also be focusing on how powerful Vegeta would have been had he turned Super Saiyan 2 at this point in the series. With all that said though, let's just jump into it. The Cell games have begun. The supposedly perfect Cell has taken his place on the arena, ready to face all those who oppose him. His tournament holds the fate of the Earth in the balance, and the Cell games truly begin with Goku facing the monster. And though Goku's power is impressive, he ultimately realizes he is no match for Cell. Goku had realized this well before the Cell games began though, and had a plan to defeat Cell that didn't require himself. That plan being Gohan. Gohan has power in his Super Saiyan form that exceeds his father, and even being unimpressed by Goku's full power. With Goku's guiding hand, Gohan enters the arena. While he knows that Cell is a monster that needs to be defeated to save the Earth, his resolve isn't strong enough to actually face and kill Cell. Gohan warns Cell. If the anger in his heart unleashes itself, Cell will die. This warning was meant sincerely, but Perfect Cell had yet to see any reason to believe the outlandish claim, and so he wants to test Gohan, taking the Senzu, sending in the Cell Juniors, and the death of Android 16. All of these made Gohan finally snap. His rage manifested itself in power, and he not only unlocked his true potential, but also increased the power of his Super Saiyan form, the birth of Super Saiyan 2. For those of you who are confused about there being a rage boost as well as Super Saiyan 2, instead of just rage causing Super Saiyan 2, I'll explain that more when we get to the video's titular character, Vegeta. Back into the action though, the battle with Cell from this point on is incredibly one-sided. Gohan takes back the Senzu Beans and destroys all the Cell Juniors casually. Mind you, each Cell Junior is stated to be close in power to Cell himself. Once the little clones are dealt with and his friends are being healed by the Senzu Beans, Gohan turns his attention to the original. Gohan's raw power dominates Cell, and even causes him to spit up Android 18, reverting the monster back to its imperfect state. In this form, even Vegeta and Trunks could take Cell on with ease. But that's not what happens. Cell gets desperate and decides to sacrifice himself in order to destroy the Earth and kill his enemies. But before he can detonate himself, Goku teleports him away. This was the price of Gohan's arrogance. He was sadistic in his beating of Cell, and that gave Cell the chance to turn himself into the bomb that would destroy Earth. Now, with the death of his father on his conscience, Gohan and the others prepared to leave the battleground. They had experienced a great loss, but at least they had each other, and the fight was now over. Or so they thought. Cell returns to Earth in a torrent of ki, and randomly shoots at the group of fighters, killing Trunks instantly. Cell had become exceedingly powerful, boasting a power-up comparable to Gohan's. When Gohan sees the now super perfect Cell, he transforms back into Super Saiyan 2, ready to finish what he didn't earlier. But someone else has something to resolve with Cell as well. The body of Trunks lies motionless on the ground. The Prince of the Saiyans, who even in childhood had never really cared for anyone other than himself, starts to see the connection he truly has with his offspring. Feelings of grief and anger on behalf of someone else welled up inside him, causing a hurricane of power to explode out. The target of that emotional power, Cell. This storm inside of Vegeta settled itself in a familiar way as he becomes a Super Saiyan 2, just like Gohan did. Vegeta turns to Cell and charges forward. Everyone present is in utter shock at the power on display, but how strong is he truly? As I said earlier, we'll discuss Gohan's Rage and how that is an additional power-up to Super Saiyan 2. Gohan, as a character, is very restrained. By the time of the Cell arc, he realizes that his own power is a deadly force, and it's one that he can't entirely control. He inhibits himself with the hope that will mean greater safety for those around him. Because of this, Gohan's Rage gives his power a massive spike, since it removes those mental restraints he places on himself and the restraints that he naturally has. Let's take a look at some examples of this. In the Cell arc, during the father-son Kamehameha, Goku actually calls out Gohan for holding back due to his care for the safety of Earth. We then have the Buu arc, where Goku once again tells Gohan to get mad because no one can beat Gohan when he's angry. As we already saw in the Cell arc and the earlier portions of the Buu arc, Gohan can use Super Saiyan 2 at will. The difference between Super Saiyan 2 and his actual full power are the mental barriers he puts in the way of him accessing that power. Even the Daizenshuu supports this rage boost. If you don't believe that there's a rage boost on top of Super Saiyan 2, you'd actually have to believe that Super Saiyan 1 Gohan could have defeated Perfect Cell, since half-key Super Saiyan 2 Gohan could blow away Super Perfect Cell. No rage boost means a half-power Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is just as strong as Super Saiyan 1. So, what does this have to do with Vegeta? Well, a lot, since Vegeta wouldn't get a Gohan-style rage boost. He'd only unlock the Super Saiyan 2 form. So, where does Vegeta without the rage boost actually stack up? Well, Vegeta isn't a full-powered Super Saiyan, which, as we know, is a higher multiplier than 50 times. This is shown most clearly in Vegeta vs. Kaba, where the two are equal in base, but Vegeta is stronger in Super Saiyan. As far as I'm aware, there's nothing that says you'd get the extra bonus from full power Super Saiyan just from unlocking Super Saiyan 2, so there's no reason to assume that he'd have that additional multiplier. Further, Super Saiyan 2 stacks on top of Vegeta's normal Super Saiyan form, not Grade 2. This is notable because it was Super Saiyan Grade 2 Vegeta who was barely able to keep up with a Cell Jr., who, as we said earlier, should be close in power to Perfect Cell himself. This means Super Saiyan Vegeta is weaker than Super Saiyan Grade 2 Vegeta, who is weaker than a Cell Jr., who is similar in power to Perfect Cell, who's weaker than Super Perfect Cell. Now remember, the multiplier for Super Perfect Cell is comparable to Gohan's Super Saiyan 2 transformation. Assuming Cell is only referring to Super Saiyan 2's multiplier of 2 times and not the rage boost, that means Super Perfect Cell would still be stronger than a hypothetical Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. The only way I see Vegeta having a chance is if he gets the boost from Grade 4 Super Saiyan, but there's no evidence for that outside of maybe Caulifla in Dragon Ball Super, but even that is pretty vague. However, that would still have to cover the gap between Super Saiyan Vegeta and Perfect Cell, a gap that a mastered Super Saiyan Goku couldn't even cover. So, overall, it seems very likely that Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta would be weaker than Super Perfect Cell, but not a complete curb stomp. Now that we have all that covered, let's get back to the narrative. Vegeta charges at Cell, taking advantage of Cell's own shock to get some clean hits in on the monster, and it's starting to look good for Vegeta. Everyone excitedly watches the Super Saiyan Prince beat down the artificial life form. Everyone except Gohan. Gohan is the only one who can clearly sense the difference between Vegeta and Cell's ki. He can't sit back and watch Cell toy with Vegeta before killing him any longer, so Gohan enters the fight to save Vegeta. Cell is annoyed by the interference, knowing that Gohan helping could actually cause him an issue. But he also knows that Vegeta wouldn't want help. Cell flies back quickly, allowing Vegeta to notice that Gohan had entered the fight. Vegeta, with rage on his face but sorrow in his heart, looks at Gohan and simply nods. He pushes past his pride and realizes that he needs to work with Gohan to do this. So, a Gohan who's at full power and a Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta are able to easily destroy Cell by working together. The day is won, and Vegeta feels like a new man. He takes the corpse of Trunks into his arms and says to himself, "Never again," before flying to Kami's lookout. The events that end this arc play out very similarly, if not exactly the same to how they were in the original, and while there would be differences with Vegeta's characterization going forward, it wouldn't be anything too drastic that I think this would require a part 2. I think what's really important here is learning about Super Saiyan 2 as a transformation and how Gohan had Rage as well as Super Saiyan 2 to back him up.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit the like button, leave your opinions and counterpoints in the comments down below, and hit subscribe and the notification bell. That way you get to stay up to date on the channel and everything that goes on with it. If you're interested, please check out the merch store to support the channel in another way that gives you something in return. But till next time, peace!